Barricades and brick walls won't keep me from you. You can tie me down on a railroad track. You can let that freight train loose. Iron bars and big old cars won't run me out of town. Well, I'll be damned if you're not my man before the sun goes down. Well, you can chain me down on the edge of town. You can leave me there to die. But the railroad track will bring me back when the lonesome whistle cries. Barricades and brick walls won't keep me from you. You can tie me down on a railroad track. You can let that freight train loose. Iron bars and big old cars won't run me out of town. Well, I'll be damned if you're not my man before the sun goes down. Well, you can lock me out, you can scream and shout, you can try to change your name. By the end of the day, I'll take you away like a force-10 hurricane. Barricades and brick walls won't keep me from you. You can tie me down on a railroad track. You can let that freight train loose. Iron bars and big old cars won't run me out of town. Well, I'll be damned if you're not my man before the sun goes down.
Is this mic on? If you'd like to gather round, ladies and gentlemen, please. We gather here this afternoon to say farewell and to pay tribute and celebrate the life of someone who held a very special place in your lives. A loving partner, mother, daughter, sister, and good friend to many along her life's journey. Tracey, Patricia, Davis. At the conclusion of this service here this afternoon, we will lay Tracey's body to rest with love, care and tenderness. On behalf of Jason and his family and Tracey's mum and dad, Keith and Kate, may I thank you so much for being here this afternoon and for your very kind messages of love, support and condolence. They are very much appreciated. As we begin, I will open with the Lord's Prayer. Those of you who may wish to join me, please do so. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. There can be no doubt that you are all feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness, a grief that is so hard to come to terms with. Pain, heartache, and even anger are felt more strongly at this time. It is at times like this that we are also faced with so many unknowns. And yet, amongst all those unknowns, is the one thing that we all know so well, and that is love. So as we gather here today to say farewell and celebrate Tracey's life, let us remember those words that have one common theme, love. It is important to remember that when someone we love dies, our love for them and their love for us doesn't die also. In fact, it becomes even stronger. The grief, the sadness, and the heartache that we feel is a measure of that love. Because without love, we simply wouldn't have those same feelings. We grieve deeply because we love deeply, and no philosophy or religion ever taught can take away this natural reaction of the human heart. Here this afternoon, I ask that you feel free with your sadness, your tears, your grief, your heartache, or in whatever way is of comfort to you. But I also ask that you keep the love that you have for Tracey foremost in your minds, along with all those memories that you have of the times that you shared with her. The following few words are words that, although they have a deep meaning for Jason, they are also words that I'm sure apply to Tracey's loving family, her 2 boys, and her mum and dad. My love, you gave yourself to me, and life caught fire from your spark. But then, like sunshine, here and gone, you left us in the mournful dark. The time we shared was full of warmth. Our flame sustained us through the years, and now it lights the path ahead. Between the silence and the tears, your memory will not fade away to muted tones of black and white. How could such blazing colour leave this earth without a dazzling flight? So, hear this now, my love, my life. Since your sweet sunshine left the blue, a brilliant rainbow spanned the sky, and that is how we will think of you. In the next few minutes we'll recall Tracey's life, celebrate and pay tribute to a life, although not as long as all of us here today would have hoped and wished for, was full of joy, happiness, fun and laughter, and shared with all those people that she loved so much. Tracey was born on Sunday, the 28th of March, 1982, and passed away with her loving family holding her hands on the 11th of this month, aged 40 years. A daughter to Keith and Kate, sister to Anita, Patricia deceased, Cherie, and to Keith deceased. Much loved partner to Jason, a dearly loved mother to Xavier and Bradley, very much loved by Chloe, Xavier's partner. A much-loved auntie, loved niece, and good friend to many along her life's journey. Tracey was born in Manjimup and spent her early years in Jardee and in Manjimup. She attended school in Manjimup and after finishing school had various jobs in and around the town before embarking on a lifelong commitment with the love of her life, Jason. Jason and Tracey met while she was finishing high school, and their relationship was to grow, and they were together for the next 25 years. Tracey and Jason were blessed with 2 sons, Xavier and Bradley. Their relationship, as is the case with many relationships, had the occasional ups and downs, but they were nothing compared to the love that they had for one another. Although I do suspect that Tracey, having 3 men in her life, needed the patience of a saint at times. Tracey had a love of horses and animals from a young age, and this never left her. Her skills and affinity to horses in particular were much admired by her family and many in the horse fraternity in this part of the southwest. She was a member of the popular Warren Horsemen's Club. Tracey was a proficient rider, competing in many show jumping and dressage events in the area. Her love of horses wasn't just with riding them, however. She also possessed a rare skill of being able to tame or break in those horses that sometimes were considered untamable. Some of her much-loved horses were Lucille, Beau, Harley, Trigger and Polo, her latest addition to her stable, which she was going to ride when she came back home. This, as we know, didn't eventuate, but I'm sure that she'll be watching him from above. The love that she had for these magnificent creatures was unbounded, for she had an affection for them that was returned many times over. Tracey also enjoyed the sport of motocross, a sport, many ways, the opposite of horse riding and competition riding. However, as with all things that she undertook, she gave her all. Competing with the guys on her quad bike was no problems at all, and she gave as good as she got. She very much enjoyed competing at the Manjimup 15,000 and had a great time. She was a proud member of the Manjimup Motorcycle Club. Jason and Tracey spent a fair amount of their lives together running their own business ventures, sometimes with success and sometimes not, but nevertheless always with the background that they were life partners and anything that came their way would be surmounted. In recent times they purchased some land near Boyart Brook to establish a small farm there with sheep and other animals, and of course, very importantly, Tracey's horses. To say that Tracey enjoyed being there is an understatement. She absolutely loved it, and even enjoyed all the hard work that went with it, fencing, looking after the stock, and all the other myriad jobs that go with life on the land. Not a great drinker, but she very much enjoyed sitting around the campfire after a hard day's slog, enjoying a beer, having a yarn, and talking about what the farm and the stock needed and life in general. I am sure that pretty well all of you here today can picture that in your mind's eye, and what an idyllic picture it makes. In life we have many experiences, some of which we can look back on with smiles and laughter. One that Jason and the boys told me about when I met with them occurred when Tracey and Bradley were at the farm. Bradley had been to the Portaloo, and after he had finished, Tracey went in after him. No problems there, you would think. However, Bradley closed the door after Tracey had gone in and inadvertently, or leastways that's what he said afterwards, locked Tracey in. Bradley then went into the shed, and with the generator going to supply power, he settled down to enjoy playing his games. Meanwhile, Tracey had made use of the loo and went to leave. Finding the door locked, she was not the best pleased and proceeded to bang on the door and yell for Bradley to open the door. Bradley, of course, was oblivious to all of this, as he was engrossed in his game, and with the generator noise, he couldn't hear her. Time kept ticking on. Tracey called Jason, who was away truck driving, and all the time she was getting more and more annoyed. She eventually decided to call her mum and dad in Manjimup and ask them to come and rescue her. So, some 3 hours after being locked in, her mum and dad arrived and unlocked the door. Bradley had come out of the shed with their arrival and was there when the door was unlocked. Tracey emerged, I strongly suspect somewhat relieved, but also perhaps not in the best of moods. Bradley asked her if they could have pizza tonight. No one told me what Tracey's reply was, but it was probably along the lines of where she would like to put that pizza. Jason, Xavier and Bradley told me that Tracey would help anyone, loved animals, and who lived her life to the full. She enjoyed her life and was always bubbly and smiling, even when at times she could be forgiven for not being on top of the world. She never looked for attention and was fiercely independent. But perhaps above all, she loved her family, for who she would do absolutely anything. Jason, Xavier and Bradley have written the following words in tribute to their much-loved partner and mum and asked me to read them to you. Firstly, from Jason. Tracey, this is the hardest thing I have ever had to do in my life. I remember when I first met you. We were working at Blaker's farm, and you threw a potato at my head and hit me. We both knew it was love at first sight, and it only feels like yesterday. 25 years later, I stand here beside you, proud and still in love. Those 25 years have been the best years of my life. We called each other husband and wife, even though we never got married. We always joked who was going to come to our wedding, as I was from Victoria and you from Manjimup. We said who was going to travel to the halfway point across the two states, halfway across the Nullarbor, to celebrate our wedding. I watched you grow, and you watched me. We did everything together, rarely apart. You loved your horses, dogs, sheep, and any other animal that needed looking after, including me. You gave me 2 beautiful boys that we raised together, and now they are both young men. We had our own businesses and lived life to the full, enjoying it all and heaps of fun along the way. We recently bought our first farm. You worked so hard at the farm, and I was so very proud of all that you did. I called it your place, but you always said that it's our place. Tracey, I've loved you from day one until the day I held your hand and whispered in your ear that you'll have to go. I'll never forget the tear in your eye, and I'll never forget that I was always by your side, and now you'll always be by my side. Rest in peace, my love, and watch over me as I try to keep our dream alive. I miss you every single day, and the pain I feel will always be with me. I love you, Tracey, and I am so very, very proud of you. Rest in peace. All my love, Jason. From Xavier. Mum had a great passion for camping, fishing, dirt bikes and horse riding. I will always remember the fun times with Mum, with our sports and all those times that we spent together. Her telling us off when some things we did were bad, as typical boys growing up. But Mum loved us nonetheless. She was our rock through life. Mum, you will always be the most treasured thing I have. I love you, Mum, and you will always be in my heart. Rest easy with a cold one, Mum. You may not be with us now, but you will never be forgotten. Love, Xavier. From Bradley. My mum was the greatest person that I have ever known. She cared for all animals and cared for all of us three. We are so proud of what Mum done and what she went through for us. I am especially proud of Mum because she helped me through lots of stuff and cared for me. I miss my mum, my mate, my leader. For the final goodbye, I am so proud of you, Mum, and I'll always miss you and love you forever. Rest in peace. All my love, Bradley. Tracey's sister, Cherie, would now like to read to us her tribute to her dearly loved sister. Could I ask her to come forward, please? Have you got it written down? Sure, because it's there if you don't want it. That's word for word what you sent me. Okay.
When I think about my sister, Tracey, I remember her laugh, her smile, her energy, and the love she had for her partner, Jason, her boys, Xavier and Bradley, her parents, and the rest of the family. Family was everything to her. I feel like we had so much time wasted. We should have had more memories, more time, more stories to share. I treasure those I had and the time we had. The last time I saw her was when she got Polo, her last horse. I remember how happy she was, how excited she was, and how grateful she was. Tracey loved the farm. She loved the life Jason and her had created together. She was so proud of what they achieved, and I have never seen her as happy as when she was on the farm. I miss you, Tracey, and I don't know how to live in a world without you in it. My kids are going to miss you calling in randomly and miss you asking us to watch lambs while you're away. You were such a great auntie to them and so understanding when they were struggling. They're going to miss you so much. Rest in peace, my beautiful sister. All my love.
Thank you, Jason, Xavier, Bradley and Cherie, for all of those beautiful words. Words that even at the best of times are hard to write. To write them with obviously so much love in their hearts is certainly commendable, and I thank them all. Now I am gone, release me. Let me go. You have so many things to see and do. You mustn't tie yourself to me with grief. Be happy that we had some wonderful years. I loved you, my loved ones, and you can only guess how much you gave to me of happiness. I thank you for the love and joy and understanding you have all shown me. But now it's time I travelled alone. So grieve a while if grieve you must, then let your grief be comforted by trust. It's only for a while that we must part, so bless those memories that lie within your heart. They mean so much to me, and release me. Let me go. Jason, Xavier, Bradley and Tracey's mum and dad, and all of you here this afternoon, have many memories of the times that you shared with Tracey. Those happy, fun-loving times which meant so much to her and to you. For the next few moments, let us pause in quiet reflection, and I ask you to recall all those memories and the privilege of having Tracey in your life. Memories are a treasure time that cannot be taken away. So may you all be surrounded by happy ones here today. May all the love and tenderness of years well spent come back today to fill your hearts with beauty and content. May you walk down memory lane and meet the one you love, for while you cannot see her, she'll be watching from above. And if you trust your dreaming, your faith will make it true. And if you listen with your heart, she'll come and talk to you. So, for her sake, be happy and show her that love has proven strong and big enough to reach down from above. You will never walk alone when memory's door sways wide, for you will find your Tracey is always by your side. Family and friends, very shortly I will call the pallbearers forward, who will lay the body of our beloved Tracey to rest. Before I do so, may I once again, on behalf of Jason and his family, thank you all for being here this afternoon and for your very kind messages of love, support and condolence. They are very, very much appreciated. Jason and his family have asked me to extend to you all an invitation to please join them at the Management Gateway Hotel after we leave this place for light refreshments. This will give you the opportunity of sharing with Tracey's family and with each other your memories of times shared and enjoyed with her, what she meant to you, and the special place that she holds in your heart. On Jason's behalf, may I also thank Deb and her colleagues from Archer and Sons Funeral Homes for all their help, support and guidance during this sad time. After we have laid Tracey to rest, Chloe will come forward and call the names of the members of Tracey's family to come forward, place a flower into her resting place and make their own farewell. After they have done so, you are all invited to come forward and make your own farewell. During this time, we will play the music Ride the Lightning by Warren Zeders, and then, as we leave this place, the music Angels by Robbie Williams. As we lay the body of our beloved Tracey to rest, let us do so with love in our hearts, with tenderness and care, but also with the joy that comes with being able to have shared a special person's life. Although there is deep sadness in your hearts and minds at the loss of someone who holds a very special part in your lives, I am very much reminded of the words spoken to me by Jason and his family last week. They told me that Tracey would not want this to be all doom and gloom. She was, as I've mentioned, a happy, fun-loving person. So let us say farewell with heartfelt thanks that you have shared her life and enjoyed all those times with her. Before the pallbearers come forward, could I ask Deb to come forward and prepare the coffin for lowering? Will the pallbearers come forward, please? Could I ask those that are seated to please be upstanding? Tenderly and reverently, we commit the body of our beloved Tracey to the ground. We are grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that that life has meant to us. We are glad that Tracey lived. We are glad that we saw her face and felt the pressure of her hand. We cherish the memories of her words, her deeds, and her character. We cherish her friendship, and most of all, we cherish her love. Could I ask Chloe to come forward, who will call out the names of the family members to come forward and place a flower into Tracey's place of rest.
I'd like to call forward Anita and Emily. Dan and Tobin. Cherie and Hamlet. Mason and Amity. Kate and Keith. Xavier and Bradley. And then myself and Jason.
Could I ask the rest of you to come forward, please, and make your own farewell?
Mama always said I was born on the wild side. One foot in the flames and the other trying to walk the line. Can't say I never saw it coming, I can see the warning sign. Mama always said I was born on the wild side. I guess Mama was right. 'Cause when the clock strikes midnight, gonna ride the lightning, feel the thunder, till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, hits the concourse, let the fools go. There's a man in a black coat standing at a crossroads. I hope he lets me pass by. When I close my eyes, gonna ride the lightning, feel the thunder, till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, pray the good Lord lifts me higher, singing oh when they call me home, singing oh when they call me home. Gonna ride the lightning, ride the lightning, ride the lightning. Gonna ride the lightning, feel the thunder, till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, pray the good Lord lifts me higher, singing oh when they call me home, singing oh when they call me home. Gonna ride the lightning, gonna ride the lightning.